Outdoor Recreation Complex at Rourke. It doesn't get here by no vision. It doesn't get here just because. It doesn't get here without cooperation with everybody, and that means the school district and the city and the port and the fire and the police. We all get together, we sit down and we talk about what do we want to see. And of course, I want to give a little bit of credit, and I will. Well, I should do it when I introduce him. I'll do that. But the vision for this was about 2 years ago. The council sat down, and we have the school that was coming up. We were going to have the bond that we were going to go out and work on. The school district had worked with 30-some people on a regular basis for over a year to accomplish what they have right there. They thought far enough ahead that they put it out a bit before we passed the bond, and by the time the bond was passed, they were ready to go. And then the city came in and working that whole time with the schools and said, hey, you know, there's going to be a lot of parking needs, there's going to be a lot of field needs. How about we put in the outdoor complex that will fulfill the needs for our, not all the needs, but fulfill many of the needs that we have for our community and for the schools at the same time. So now you see it. Now, I asked also, by the way, I did not want to do a shovel. I wanted to drive one of those big tractors, but they didn't let me. So we'll be doing shovel work. Anyway, I'd like to welcome a few people here, and we'll go. There's so many dignitaries that we'll go through it kind of fast, but then I'll miss a few, I'm sure, because people are still coming in. But we have a couple of senior citizens here that I want everybody to recognize, and we'll give them a round of applause, and that's John Burrows and Aline Woodage right here. So, John's been waiting 102 years for this complex right here. He wants to know when he likes to play first base, so he wants to know when he can be on that over 60 team. And Aline's going to be a cheerleader, so there we go. We have the school district here, and I see too, if you'll wave, Scott Gullickson and Emily Enquist. And of course, we will be introducing Nathan McCann, who is our superintendent, our doctor. He's the doctor of this whole thing right here. And from our sewer district that makes everything work, we have the head of the sewer district, John Peterson, and Commissioners Neil Kimsey and Denny Kiggins right here. We have a lot from the fire. They were afraid that we were going to light a match to get rid of some of the chaff around here, but and they brought a tanker truck, so if anybody gets out of line, we can also use that. And the head of the fire department, John Knorr. So Chief Knorr, I want to recognize him. One of the things that we are working so hard to do is, and as you drove in here, you saw that there was a tremendous amount of development going on. Well, there's one of the reasons that a lot of that development that's going on at the junction is CREDC is one of our partners, Columbia River Economic Development Council, and the head of that, Mr. Mike Bomar, is here. He drove his car, and he lives a half a mile down the road, so you pick up a parking space. I don't know about that. You've got to figure that. Vancouver's got the works on the parking, I think. Anyway, the port commissioners, who are our partners in many things, and including this, Joe Melroy, Bruce Wiseman, and Scott Hughes are here. I haven't seen Brent Grenning yet. Just raise your hands and wave at everybody. At the Parks Board, I know there's at least one here. Kim, where are you? You're here, right here in front with Ruby. And so you don't have to clap. Wait till we're all done, and that's much easier. We have our city council, who with that vision here has brought this forth. and that is Lee Wells, John Main, Don Stokes, Dave Taylor, Sandra Day, and Darren Wirtz. And they're all right here in the blue and orange shirts. We know that we're the fastest growing community, and we have larger and young families more than the average in our county. That means we have a fast growing need for places that the kids and families can play, recreate, and learn. The council is committed to creating those play spaces, trails, and ball fields, evidenced through parks, open space, and trail set-asides, which, by the way, in case you didn't know, any new developer that comes in to develop an area has to dedicate 25% of that property to parks and trails. So we work with them on what they'll donate, or not donate, but develop, and it makes it better for that community and that neighborhood. We're still small, but we know we need to have good partnerships to create the places that we need to satisfy this need. Rourke is a great example of that. The partnership with the school allowed us to do more than we could have been able to do separately. This is what partnerships are all about. And we set out to build the premier sports facility in the area, and we'll have lighted turf fields set up for multiple sports and concession stand with a full-service kitchen. It will also provide citizens with a trail network that connects the surrounding neighborhoods, a play area, and a commuting room, community meeting room. We want to thank the Ridgefield School District and Dr. McCann, Neil Princeton, who has been a great help in all the sprinkling and all the public work stuff that he does for the school, the coaches, the Facilities Advisory Committee, the design team of Penn Levitt, John Bleener, Alyssa Peters, with the PBS Engineering. We ought to give them a hand. And it gives me a chance to introduce Tim Levitt. We're here that is looking to see if we can find a place to live in Ridgefield, but he has to agree not to run for mayor. So anyway, we're glad he's here. PBS Engineering, Don Luhart with LSW Architects, Chris Robertson with Robertson Engineering, Don Hardy and Juanita Rogers with Berger ABAM, and the construction team, Rick Neal and Scott Rose and Emmerich on the school's construction, and Jacob Esteb and Chap Mahoney with the Tappaney. This is a combination of a lot of people in this community, and it's wonderful that we're going to be able to make this happen. We're going to have the best complex with school and outdoor and recreation than anybody in the county, maybe anybody in the state. And I want to introduce at this time our esteemed city manager, and I want to tell you that we're inking a contract with him because he said when 2 years ago, he says, wait a minute, we got to get this complex done because Obi, his boy, is in kindergarten this year, so he'll be going into Little League, and let me see, it only goes through 8 years of school, 4 years of high school, and then you can retire. Okay, I'd like to introduce Steve Stewart.
Our mayor and our council are a driving force for the vision of this community. But that community vision doesn't just come from the council, they take it from the citizens themselves, and whether that be John or Aline or our port or the citizens who come to our meetings, there's a gentleman that I specifically wanted to call out as someone who really has had a passion for this project specifically and has consistently been driving towards seeing this done. John Oatley. John is sitting under the tent right there, and John has been a driving force for us in getting this done. So thank you for your vision and your drive and your persistence. Things happen. It takes a little while. It's government. But once the dirt gets turned. So it's my pleasure to talk about the place a little bit and paint a picture. Right now we're looking at a bunch of dirt, which not that long ago wasn't even a bunch of dirt. It was just fields that were open but with ideas of what they might be. Those ideas are coming to life. So for me, the easiest way to talk about the facility is talk about it through the eyes of the people who will be using it. So the first people that we think about when we talk about using this facility is the school kids that'll be coming in. On the bus every morning as they're driving down a tree-lined parkway here at Hillhurst for the first day of school to their amazing new 5, 6, and 7, 8 schools. Looking out to their right, seeing fields as far as they can see. Seeing structures, seeing playgrounds that they know they're going to play on. Seeing trails beyond it, wondering where they go and how they can get to them and when. All on the way to school to learn in a world-class environment. And the school parents, many of whom drop their kids off and don't put them on the bus. That's an editorial comment, put them on the bus. But for those school parents who do take their kids to school, dropping off their 5th grader at the school that they helped build with their vote, with their money and their property taxes to help build those schools, they drive through a school zone that's safe for kids, with the capacity to be able to handle those kids and the cars and the buses, with bike and pedestrian facilities built for bikes and pedestrians, as opposed to ones that were built after the fact. All to go into this bright, shiny new school complex that has lanes to get in, has space for them to get in, so that they're not stuck back on the road waiting for their turn to actually get in the queue. All of that for the little bit of money that they've invested so far. The youth sport coaches. We got a lot of sport coaches who have participated in this process. Now I think about the sport coaches, their first day showing up at the facility. And they show up really early because it's spring or it's fall and it's wet, it's been raining. They know they have a ton of work ahead of them. They got to get the fields prepared. They need to get those fields prepared so when the kids come, they have a place to play. But little did they know, they forgot that it's all artificial turf fields. So when they show up, there are no holes to fill. There's no lines, there's no infield to rake. There's no mud to churn and hopefully put some sand on it. Maybe you play the game and maybe you don't. Maybe you pray to the gods that the rain will stop so you don't have to make the phone calls so that the games can play. None of that. So you show up for the game and you're actually able to set your lineup instead of the lines and get ready for the kids to come. Pretty nice place to be as a coach. And then there's the youth sport volunteers, and they show up and the youth sports are coming and the youth sports volunteers show up and they walk along a parkway from one of the 400 to 500 parking spaces that it will exist in this complex. So they'll have lots to choose from because they'll be here early. Even if they weren't, there'd still be enough room for them. And they walk down the parkway, this boardwalk, from the parking area into the concession stand. And they say, what's a concession stand? Where's the grill so I can pull that out and I can make the hot dogs and the hamburgers and get ready for the day? Well, there is no grill for them to pull out. There's a door for them to open. And when they open that door to the commercial kitchen that has fully stocked kitchen with grill facilities and fryer and every kind of storage and structure you would need to be successful for any kind of sports, whether it be youth sports, adult sports, or whether it be tournaments or events that are going on. There is no grill, there is no worrying about how am I going to actually satisfy the needs of those. It'll all be there. Then there's the kids of all ages playing on the fields. Now, I didn't get into whether they're my son and a 5-year-old showing up or whether they're a varsity baseball player or anywhere in between. The moment that we want, the moment that we expect is when they walk on that field, the only word will be wow. It'll be looking at the fields that they're playing on going, wow. It'll be looking at the concession stand that's fully stocked with every little thing they could ever want. Wow. It's walking along the boardwalk looking at all the people and everything around them. Wow. And it's standing on the stadium field. And it's that 5-year-old standing on the stadium field. See, this is where I get it. So it's the stadium field. You're standing on that stadium field looking around with that big R and blazing into that turf and saying, someday I'm going to be playing on this field too. I'm going to be that varsity kid playing, whether it's softball, baseball, soccer, or otherwise. But they know they're going to be there playing that game. And then finally, the community. All of you who aren't those little kids, were those little kids, have those little kids. Not only will you have that place to bring your kids, but it's that community member that drives into the parking lot during the middle of the day and then parks, goes for a walk on a trail to get connected to the nature that surrounds us and that we're lucky to have, enjoying the open space before they go to a meeting in our community meeting room of 2,500 square feet, which not only will have an amazing space and place for people to congregate, but it'll also have a great view. So that's the view, that's the vision, that's the mind's eye for those people as they will be using that facility. And we look forward to all of you being able to have that moment of your own. But we wouldn't have this moment unless we had the partnership with the Ridgefield School District. The land we are standing on today is owned by the Ridgefield School District. It is land that has graciously been partnered with our land and with our work to be able to create something that really, as our Public Works Director said in his comments in the paper, that 1 plus 1 really does equal 3. So thanks to the work of the Ridgefield School District, of our Public Works Director Brian Cast, and all the team that are doing this, this is happening. But most importantly, the partnership with our Ridgefield District Superintendent, who not only understood the vision, but he was part of creating the vision and is as excited about anyone to get it going. So with that, I bring Dr. Nathan McCann.
Thank you very much, Steve. It's a privilege to be here today and provide a few remarks on another really monumental day for Ridgefield. Community partnerships are at the heart of what the Ridgefield School District is about. They are the cornerstone of our aspiration to be the state's premier school district. They're mentioned in our purpose statement. They're one of our 4 bedrock principles. And we have an entire goal that we work on every day that is dedicated just to community partnerships. I often say the one thing I'm certain of is there's not a school district in the country that ever feels like it has enough resources to do everything it wants for all of its children. To accomplish that, we need these partnerships. The city of Ridgefield is as important a strategic partner as the district has. And it's the one time, and Steve and I have used that math too, where we're okay with kind of funky math, because 1 plus 1 really does equal something greater than 2 in this case. It's the idea that the district didn't have the capacity by itself, and the city didn't have the capacity by itself to build something that has this stature. And Mayor ONSLOW mentioned this is going to be the premier outdoor recreation complex next to schools that are part of the state's premier school system. I'm so grateful to live and work in a community where this kind of work is encouraged and is supported. And I look out at all the folks that were instrumental in championing the bond project that helped to make today, and the work that you're seeing just down to the south of us a little bit, all possible. It's going to enhance the educational experience of every single student that steps foot in the Ridgefield School District, and it's going to improve the quality of life for all of us as residents. As we watch our kids, our grandkids, our neighbors' children play, as we go out and we get to play, and all of the things that a sports complex of this size and stature brings to our city. So on behalf of the district, to Mayor ONSLOW, to the entire council, City Manager Stewart, the entire city team, thank you for your willingness to partner with the district. Together we really are something more than we'd be able to be by ourselves, and it's our honor to be a part of the Ridgefield Outdoor Recreation Complex. Thank you.